Welcome to the Connecticut Secretary of the State's Public Meeting Calendar training video provided by Connecticut Interactive. Today we'll be going over the features of the Public Meeting Calendar, or PMC for short, and how to use the application. The PMC is a web-based application developed by Connecticut Interactive that replaces the paper system previously used by the Secretary of the State's office. The PMC helps state officials, offices, and agencies communicate their events and schedules to their constituents quickly and easily. It does this by allowing the scheduling, amending, and canceling of events in a single online location. It allows uploading of agendas and minutes to the calendar. It displays venue information with maps and directions to the event location. It's searchable by agency or group and by keyword, and its responsive design is suitable for desktop or mobile viewing. PMC was developed for the Secretary of the State's office by Connecticut Interactive, or CI for short. CI has a master contract with the state of Connecticut. We specialize in digital services, mobile applications, and payment processing. Our portal office is in downtown Hartford. CI is a member of the NIC family of companies. NIC has 25 years of e-government leadership experience, 34 offices nationwide, and 11,300 total online services built in our company history, including ct.gov. Today, we'll be covering the following features of and instructions for using the PMC. We'll be introducing the Public Meeting Calendar, or PMC for short. We will be logging in. We will be exploring the authoring menu. We will be setting up contact information, and we will go through the event authoring tasks, creating a new event, and editing an existing event. Here we have the public view of the PMC. When a visitor accesses the site, the view of the current week's events displays by default. In this view, you can browse to previous and future weeks using the previous and next buttons. Select an event to view event information. In this view, you will be able to see the name of the event and the agency or group that scheduled it, the event venue information, the contact information for the scheduling group or agency, the purpose and type of the meeting, the agenda and minutes, if any additional information, and a map to the event venue, including traffic information, and for mobile users, the ability to get directions. Select the banner from any screen in the calendar to return to the default weekly view. When you select a date heading in the default view, the PMC displays all of that day's events in order from top to bottom, from latest at the end of the day to earliest. In this view, you can also select the date button to display a calendar. From the calendar, you can select a specific date in the current month to view, or use the previous and next buttons to browse other months. Select the Show More icon to display event information. Select the Show Less icon to hide the event information. Select the Week button or the top banner to return to the default weekly view. Select the Month button to display the monthly view, which displays all events for the month similar to the day view with the latest events on top. You can browse to other months using the previous and next buttons. For any event entry, you can select the View More icon to show the event details, and the View Less icon to hide them. Selecting the More entry in any day of the weekly view displays the day view. Select the List by Agency button to display a filtering drop-down menu that allows you to display events for a chosen group or agency. Select the Search by Keyword button to display a search bar that allows you to search only for events that have the keyword in their title or agency name. Those were the important public-facing features of the PMC. Next, we'll be covering logging into the PMC system. Here is the login interface for the PMC. If you do not have a PMC account, you will need to contact Taffy Womack at the Secretary of the State's office to get one. Once you have an account, at the time of account activation, PMC users will receive 2 emails from PMC administrators. The first is Connecticut Public Meeting Calendar Account Notification, which contains the username. The second is Connecticut Public Meeting Calendar Account Password Notification, which contains the password. Once you have those credentials, navigate to the following URL and enter the credentials found in those emails in the fields available, then select Sign In. Now let's take a look at the PMC dashboard. When you log into the application, the PMC will display the following by default: the authoring menu and a list of events scheduled by the logged-in user. Now let's take a more in-depth look at the authoring menu. The authoring menu is where the event author functions are located. An event author is a PMC user whose responsibility it is to create and edit events. The functions available to event authors are as follows. Select Create a New Event to create a new event. Select List Only My Meetings to show a list of meetings created by the user. Select List Edit All My Agency's Meetings to show a list of meetings created by the agency the user is part of. Select Approved Locations to show a list of venues available to be assigned to an event. And select Manage My Contact to set up contact information. We'll be exploring this Manage My Contacts option next, as it will be necessary to set up your contact information upon your first login before you schedule any events. When you log into the PMC for the first time, you will need to set up contact information. It's not possible to schedule events without at least one completed contact profile. To set up your first contact profile, select Manage My Contact from the authoring menu. This will take you to the Manage My Contact info screen. Selecting Edit allows you to begin editing your contact information. In the Edit Contact Info screen, enter the required information in the appropriate fields. Fields marked with a red asterisk must be filled in for the system to accept the contact profile. A PMC author may need more than one contact profile. For instance, if you are scheduling events from multiple groups, agencies, or managers that have different contact information. You can designate one of these as default, which populates the profile contact information into any event you schedule unless you change it. All user account profiles must have a nickname. For example, the name of the agency, group, or manager whose event you are scheduling. Select Save to save your contact profile. Now we'll be heading on to creating a new event. Now I'll show you the steps to create a new event. Select Create a New Event in the authoring menu to display the Create Public Event page. Select Choose Group Agency Calendar to display a list of groups or agencies to which a user can assign an event. Choose one of them. Enter text in the Search Locations section to search for a desired venue and then select one. Under Meeting Type, select the type of meeting this event will be. Select Regular Meeting for an event that is part of or intended to be part of a series of events which are regularly scheduled and recurring. Select Special Meeting for an event which is scheduled as a one-time only meeting with sufficient advance notice. Select Emergency Special Meeting for a one-time only event scheduled in response to an urgent issue requiring immediate attention. In the title field, enter the title for the event. In the event field, enter the date. Selecting the field or the calendar icon below the event date displays a calendar. This calendar can be used to choose the date and use sliders to set the event start time in hours and minutes. It's also possible to select Now to get the current time and select Done when finished. Use the end date to set the end time for the event. This field is identical in appearance and function to the event time field above. Do not enter an end to the event before the beginning. The system will not save the event. Enter a purpose in the purpose field to create a new event. This purpose should be a brief description of the event. 500 characters max. Select Choose File to upload an agenda file, if any. Select any services that will be available during the event. Include any additional information in the field below as needed. For example, parking instructions. Select Create to add the event to the calendar. At this point, the event is live and may be viewed by the public. At this point, this is what the event will look like. You'll be able to see the agency, the title of the meeting, the purpose, the venue, the event author contact, the agenda, if any, minutes, if any, but they will not be available when you first create the meeting, any additional information, the map to the venue, and any change history. Next, we'll be editing an event. Finally, I'm going to show you how to edit an existing event. Any event you've created will display on the dashboard of the PMC, so you will start by selecting the Edit link in the event you want to edit. The event editing screen is almost identical to the event creation screen. In this screen, you can edit any information you entered when you created the event, including rescheduling and changing venue. It's also possible to attach meeting minutes when editing an event, the same way you attached an agenda. Please note you cannot attach minutes when you create an event, only when you edit it. Once you've completed making changes, select the Update button at the bottom of the editing screen to save and display the changes on the calendar. If you need to cancel the event outright, select the Cancel This Meeting at the bottom of the editing screen. The event will display as canceled in the calendar. Connecticut law requires that any changes made to a scheduled event be reflected and retained in that event's information. These changes will be in the change history at the bottom of the event information screen. You can select the Show More icon next to the change history entry to view these changes. Thanks for taking part in the Secretary of the State's Public Meeting Calendar Training, presented by Connecticut Interactive. You can find the full user manual online on the Secretary of the State's website for further instructions on how to use the calendar.